This is Greg Trauthwein. I'm the editor and associate publisher of Maritime Reporter and Engineering News. We're here at the SMM 2016, and we're visiting today with Dr. Christian Strahberger, the CEO of Schottel. Dr. Strahberger, thank you for joining us.
Thank you for being here, Greg.
To start, we understand that you've joined the company relatively recently, and I just wanted to get a bit of your career history to put in perspective where you are today.
Yeah, I joined Schottel in the January 2016, so that's about 8 to 9 months from now. Originally, for education-wise, I studied physics, theoretical physics to be precise, and after that I joined Siemens, the electrical engineering company, been there for 7 years in the manufacturing and industrial part, and after 7 years I made a transition to Voith, which is a family-owned company in southern Germany. Worked there for 7 years as well, and the last 4 years I was in charge of the marine division within Voith.
Excellent. Can you share with me what you were thinking coming into the position in January?
Of course, when you join a new company, you have an outside vision or outside perspective of the company. But I think the important thing was not what my vision is coming in, is to actually build a vision jointly with the management team and jointly with the employees of the company, so that we have a shared common goal and passion for what we want to achieve. And this was basically the task in the first roughly half year where I've been at Schottel.
So in that first half year, now almost 3/4 of a year, can you tell me how your goals and visions have been shaped or how they differ from when you walked in the door?
Of course, you get a much clearer picture from the outside view, which is kind of fragmented to when you actually see the company from the inside. I had to say I had the luck to find a very passionate team, people who's really fun to work with and are very committed to the company and to the customer. And I also had to fill 2 key positions, in the sales and in the service side. And I'm quite happy that I believe I found 2 guys together with the management team, so it's also a joint process in selecting those people. And I think we pretty much now build a common vision where we want to go and what we want to do is basically in the next, say, 12 to 18 months.
Excellent. Well, we'll get to the future in a moment, but the current market conditions, as you well know, are challenging, to say the least, on different fronts. That's my vision, but I want your vision. Could you share with us how you see the market today?
Fortunately, the market in the marine sector is very fragmented. Of course, the segment that everybody talks about is the what is called offshore. But if you drill down, it's basically offshore that is oil and gas related and exploration that is really dreadful at the moment. There are other segments like other offshore business which are still active, but of course major part of the cake is gone. Fortunately, we still good activity in the tug business. We see good activity in ferries, in merchant business is okay. Most of those are not great, but stable, and people keep investing on a moderate level. Unfortunately, of course, as a big part of the pond has fallen dry, all the other fish who has been in there are now fishing in the rest of the ground, and this has increased competition.
Maritime market is obviously cyclical. Can you tell us how during times like this, when it's not so great, how it helps you or helps your company shape itself for the future?
I believe these down cycles are actually very important also for an industry. And if you go longer back in history of maybe modern times, you find big innovations have always been started in down cycles. And I think it's now the importance to use this down cycle to rethink the way what you're doing, what you're working on, and also the what you have actually the offering to the customer, and especially listen to the customer very closely, because the customer needs change in this down cycle as the environment changes. So I believe now it's the time for adapting oneself to the new norm, because we can expect the oil price will remain at a lower level for some time. And we have to be now agile and adaptive to understand what the customer need now and what's coming in the next 5 to 10 years. So to set up the company in a way that when things get better, we're better positioned than our competitors, which is an easy thing said, but that's what we aim for.
Very good. Well, when you look at the company today, what do you count as its greatest strengths?
For me, the greatest strengths are actually the employees of the company. Yeah, they are committed to focusing on the customer, thinking is what is the best for the customer and how can we satisfy their needs. This shared passion and drive is, I think, the genes of Schottel, and I would very much to remain in like that. It's also important that the company innovates and puts lots of efforts in R&D. So I have a technical education, so I have a passion for technology, and we are now, jointly with our R&D department, thinking very hard about what could be the next step in propulsion technology. Where do we have to develop?
When you look at reshaping the company, can we first look at the company's portfolio and maybe discuss where you see that going in the coming years?
So we are committed to stay a propulsion expert. So we're not intending to go far from the propulsion side. Of course, within the propulsion segments, there are many things that we need to expand. For example, we recently introduced the eco-propeller, the so-called SRE, which is aiming at faster going vessels around 12 knots upwards, being efficient at this cruising. Yeah? It's a pulling propeller. It's very hydrodynamic efficient, and I believe has the best efficiency in the industry at the moment. We're also adding in electric propulsion. We're featuring the rim thruster SRT, which is extremely silent, compact, and I believe will have a quite interesting position in the market in the future. And we are adding on our electronic controls, and also conducting very basic research, like on propeller shapes, like on toothing. We believe there is a future for mechanics, and we patented a new toothing technology, improving the bevel gear, which has been there around for decades, and nobody thought it can be improved greatly, but we've shown it can be done, and we added 15% more torque with the same dimensions.